Okay, today is November 25th. It's Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. Here's what we were looking at for today. Overnight prices trended down shortly after the open. Where's the opening bar? I don't see the opening bar showing up today for some reason. But shortly after the open, prices broke this channel that they formed in overnight. And they kind of moved along the outside of this channel for like a leg down, and then they just ranged for the rest of the day. So that's what we're looking at for today. Really, it's just a range day because prices were ranging right here. Then they broke lower, ranged a little bit, made a leg down, and then they kind of made a leg up and just ranged. So that's what we were looking at for today. There are some good entries. This one, I'm gonna mark this one before I forget. I didn't see this, but I would definitely have taken this had I seen it. So let's look at, and as this is probably the fewest trades I've marked. So I don't know if anyone wants to share their feedback. I would really appreciate it, but I just didn't see much that I liked today. And as I go through it, I might see something that I do like. So let's find, what would it be, 8 o'clock? Because that's where Mack says to start. So at around 8 o'clock, prices are in this range. I marked it off these 4 closes right here. These 4 closes, that's where I marked the range. And then on the bottom, I marked it off these 2, and then these touches, and this. That's where I marked the bottom of this range. So prices, that's about 8 o'clock right here. Prices came down into the range, bounced off the top, bounced off the bottom, came in here. This is not a good signal bar, unfortunately. So if you're being super aggressive, you might take this. But if you're just patient, you get that's a second entry, failed second entry long. That's why I'm talking about this. But if you're patient, you just get a lower high, low risk signal bar right there, 5 ticks. And it's off the top of that range, first break of the trend line. And this is how I saw my trend line. Some people on the forum, I saw someone, their trend line was steeper, but I think mine looks pretty valid. Off the lows, it looks valid. It's off these first 2 swings, so it actually might be even. I don't know what the opposite of steep is. It might be more flat because I didn't mark it off those closes really. So just something to keep in mind. Yeah. So actually, if I had it more flat, this probably would have been right off the trend line, and so would have this. And it probably just broke the trend, and just that's when it started ranging for the rest of the day. But anyway, I'll take a look at that later. Let's look at these trades. So this was off my trend line, and it's at the bottom of the range, but it's at the key entry point at the trend line. So prices were ranging, yeah. But once this red signal bar broke higher, I just put an entry. A stop order right below this, just because it's off the key entry point, and it was right at the open. This is right at the open, so maybe that's why. Maybe this is covering up the opening bar. No. Well, anyway, but yeah, so you do get a scalp out of this, but it's definitely aggressive. So anyway, prices did go lower, and then they just start ranging, and I put a little reminder for myself, don't enter in this stuff. It's just, you don't know what's going on. It's right at the break of the channel. It's right below this range, so you just don't know what to do. And then prices make a leg down. I would think maybe you might be looking at this as like 1 leg down, range, another leg down. So here, I marked this as an aggressive. It's a triple test. Here's a triple, or not a triple, a double test. This is a double test right here too. but I just thought it might break back into this range or even back into this range, so I didn't know. I don't know. It just didn't look, and it looked congestive, but then I realized these aren't dojis, so maybe it's not congestive. But by the time it gets down here, you know it's going lower, and that's why I marked this trade, but it is aggressive just because this is a very steep move. And even if I had my trend line more flat, that would be far away from the trend line, and it's far from the EMA, so that's a very aggressive move, but it did work out. It gave you the full point, I mean. And so I did think that this trend line might be valid too, because I think it automatically, sometimes this thing automatically draws itself, like redraws itself, but I had it like right here, and if you look at these bars, this one closed up here and this one opened down here, and Mack said something in recent weeks about that's how you know, sometimes that's how you know your trend lines are correct, is these prices will gap over the line. And that's what happened here. So I thought that was pretty cool to see. I'd never seen that in real time before. So that's why I had that circle there. Anyway, prices start moving up. I marked this, but it didn't work out just because it was off my new trend line. So why don't I just delete that? It looked like a second entry possibly, but I followed the rules and it didn't get filled. And then price came up here, and this is aggressive. I think I just marked this because it was off this. I drew this area of support when prices came here. So that's why I marked this. And it's far from the EMA. Yeah, I didn't put any labels on my trades. But yeah, that's why I marked that, is it's far from the EMA. And price has been trending down all night and since the open. So, you know, this is aggressive, but it bounces off that level of support. I should have extended that all the way out too. Let's see. Yeah, that probably would have helped for some entries, but yeah, I didn't extend these areas of support and resistance, which over here in this range, it would have helped for like taking some aggressive moves. But anyway, yeah, this is an aggressive move that did work out. Prices break into what would be what I was looking at as the range for the rest of the day. They come, they bounce around. And I marked these first two longs in this range as aggressive simply because price has been trading down all night. But I think after this range holds for a while, I don't think it's aggressive anymore. And so this is a nice bar. I really like these bars. When prices are ranging and it closes at its high or near its high, back into the range, I really like these entries. So I marked that. Prices are just bouncing around really at this level. So I wish I moved that over. Let's see. So yeah, prices are bouncing around, bouncing. Big move down. And I don't know, somebody, if you're super aggressive, this looks kind of like a channel happening right here. So I don't know if you would take this little bar right here, but that's not a great signal bar. And it's above the EMA. Anyway, if you want to take this, break back into congestion, this big bar, you know there are trapped shorts right there. But the signal bar is not great, but it is right back into congestion. That's what I like, that entry. I wasn't watching, so I didn't take it. Then we get this channel up. And so if I had this line extended all the way from the range at the beginning of the day, this was support at the range at the beginning of the day, I definitely, and I was watching, I would have taken this trade right here. Let me move that over. Whoops. I would have taken this. Even though it's in a channel up, I would have taken this move. It's just such a nice break back into congestion. You know, there are trap people going long here. I like it. It's a nice, you get a nice move down. Let me delete these, let me delete this line. This line didn't end up really doing anything. And I'll even delete this. So prices moved down. You would have had a nice move there. Prices were bouncing off that line. I don't know why I deleted it, but whatever. And then they bounce. And maybe this would be the midline. So where's this here? Let's see. This is 27.50. 3, so that's 7.5 points, so that's 3.75 points would be the midline. So 23.75, 23.75. So that's the midline. Yeah, prices are bouncing off the midline of this range. So yeah, this is an entry I like. This looks like a little aggressive because it's only slightly bearish, but you know, this is going to, I just like these entries right at the top of and bottom of ranges. And that's why I marked this one too. But I think I would probably mark these as aggressive. I don't know, man. I don't know about this one because look how far that is from the EMA. And it's such a bullish bar. So I really like that. And that's what I saw for today. I have some time before this video ends, so let me redraw this. Let me play around with this channel. I want to see if you move it right here. Okay, so this is definitely more accurate. And then I'd have to pull this down. This is definitely more accurate. So now let's take a look at these entries. Now that my channel has been redrawn, ooh, yeah, now that the channel has been redrawn, I definitely would have taken this. This right here, I'm pretty sure I would have taken that. And I probably would have redrawn my level of support to be right there. And yeah, I think I would. I'm saying, you know, right here, I'm saying don't enter in this stuff. But I think if I was watching it, I probably would have liked that entry. What is that? Is that it's like a first, second, third entry short? Something to think about. Something to think about. And let's see how prices play off that over here. I think I'd still take this, and I think I'd definitely take this with this redrawn level of support and resistance. And okay, so this would be at 27. So now the midline would be at 350. Let's see this. 23.50. Let's see how prices, and that's perfect because look, prices, I would definitely take that now. I don't see any entries I would take. I mean, so this is where your resistance would be to start. Unfortunately, I probably wouldn't take that. I don't know, unless you put a stop below that green bar. But yeah, this works out as a midline. Anyways, that's what I saw. I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving for those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving. And I'll be back next week. I'm not going to, I mean, Mack is saying, you know, it's a waste of time to trade tomorrow and Friday, so I'm not going to make one of these videos. So I will be back next week. Thank you.